What's up, guys? Mike at Cascadia Overland. Just out here for a weekend trip, and thought we might do a little video walk around of the Jeep. So yeah, so what I've got here, I've got a 2016 JKU Rubicon. I bought it used a couple years ago. I was lucky enough to have the previous owner did a little bit of work on it, not very much, but at least got me started. So when it came to me, it had the front and rear bumper, no winch or anything like that, no lift, just stock Rubicon tires, fairly stock. The previous owner did put a catback exhaust on it. There's Piggy, which I'm very happy with the exhaust. It sounds great on the trail. So yeah, we'll do a little walk around. I will start with some exterior stuff. So as I said, the bumper came with it. Didn't have a winch, didn't have these lights or anything like that. I mounted this Smitty-built knockoff high lift jack on here. I put a Smitty-built X2O 10,000 pound winch, and then these are some cheapo Amazon lights that I threw on there. They're actually amber and white. I also added these limb risers. Just got them off of Amazon, about $75. I added these Pro Comp LED lights. You know, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago I added those headlights. I did have JW speaker headlights on there, which I loved. They were great. These Pro Comp headlights are kind of a knockoff of the JW speaker headlights that I had. But one of my JW speaker headlights went out on me, and there's no repairs or anything you can do with them. And I wasn't willing to spend $600 on a new set of JW speaker. So I got these Pro Comp lights for, I think they're about 350 bucks. I'm overall very happy with them. Light pattern's good. As far as suspension goes, I went with the basic Rubicon Express 3.5 inch lift. The lift came with the springs, the shocks, everything I pretty much needed, just the basic stuff, no long arms or anything like that. I went with BFG KM3 mud terrains, which I love. And they are on some 17-inch Pro Comp cheap aluminum wheels, but I'm a big fan of the style. Along the side, just factory rock sliders. This is a soft top. I wasn't originally looking for a soft top when I was looking for a Jeep, but I'm really thrilled with it. I'm gonna do a separate video on overlanding with the soft top, so look for that in the future. There's a lot of pros and cons, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't trade it for a hard top and a rooftop tent any day. Moving along to the back. So obviously you can see I take out my rear windows. I pretty much take them out in May and put them back in September, October. As I'd mentioned before, the rear bumper also came with the Jeep when I bought it. I added on these lights. Again, Amazon cheapos. They work. When they quit working, they're cheap to replace. I've got my reverse lights, and I've also got some flashing amber lights. You've probably seen them on the trail. Moving on, I've got, it's just a Smitty-built jerry can holder. I think it was about $35 on Amazon, maybe Extreme Terrain, place like that. I bought this jerry can for $20 used. I have no idea how old it is. I painted it. I had to JB weld some pinhole leaks, and I did that last season. Did that last season in springtime, and it's held up well. And you can see a little bit of redneck ingenuity here. I just ratchet strap it to a tire. Say what you want, but I've logged about 2,000 miles at least with it just like that. No problems. It hasn't slipped. It hasn't fallen off. No problems at all. Moving on, I've got a cheapo Amazon trash bag. It's worked out pretty good. I'm waiting for the day that these buckles break or it starts falling apart. You know, that day hasn't happened, so we'll see. You can also see I've got my tent on the back here. It's actually mounted to my tire carrier, which I should also talk about. This, you'll have to forgive me, I can't remember the brand of it, my tire carrier. And you can't really see it very well because of all the crap I have on there. But the thing I like about this is it's connected to the tailgate and has its own pivot point. So all the weight of my spare tire, my jerry can, my tent on there, all of that is actually all independent from the tailgate itself. There's an issue that some people have when you move to 35s. You put a lot more weight onto that tailgate. Welds start to break, the hinges start to sag. So this is actually, it is connected to the tailgate, but just with that nifty swivel deal there. I didn't want to get a tire carrier that swung out separate from the tailgate and have to do the two motions to open up the tailgate. So I'm very happy with that. It's held up pretty well. I'll put a link in the description of what that tire carrier actually was. I just can't remember the brand at the moment. So I got kind of a cheap AEG or EAG rather tailgate table I installed a couple months ago. I might do a review on this, haven't decided, but it's held up pretty well. Obviously I haven't had it for very long, so time will tell, but I can tell you one thing, it does not rattle down the trail, and I'm very happy with that. As you can see, inside of my Jeep, it's a little bit of organized chaos, but everything has its place. I'll be doing some separate gear review videos here and there as time goes on. I do have my platform here. I made that out of 1/2-inch plywood. You can't really see it very well, and I know you're gonna comment, it's sagging. So I'm gonna be redoing this exactly how I did it, but I'm gonna do it with 3/4-inch plywood. But as you can see, I've got a couple camping bins. I've got all my kitchen gear in here. Got some miscellaneous camping gear in here. Obviously I have some water there. Up here I have my stove, miscellaneous bag. I'll probably do a breakdown of everything back here at some point, maybe. You know, one thing I really like about having a soft top is having these windows out, because I can mount stuff here, mount things to my roll bar. It makes things really convenient for when we're out here. I've also got, you'll probably notice these tarps, these canvas tarps. I bought these tarps this year and I'm actually very happy with them. Water does not soak into them at all. They're waterproof. They shed water. In fact, some water had pooled up on one of them one night, and next morning it hadn't soaked through at all. There's still a solid pool of water, so I'm very happy with those. Because, you know, with the soft top, if you have a plastic tarp back there, you go down the highway and it'll drive you insane. What I like about these is, number one, they're made out of real nice material, but they've also got the molly strapping all over them, on the bottom, on the sides. You can see I added these cup holders. You know, you throw flashlights, whatever, into them. And you'll notice on the back of them, again, organized chaos, but it's got molly paneling on the back. You'll notice that I've got basically a 60% rear seat delete that I did myself. You won't be able to see it, but there's a 3/4-inch piece of plywood that's rhino lined, just like my rear platform is. Moving on to the front seat, I just installed these. I got them off Amazon. As you know, if you have a JK, they come with this netting, and I am not a fan of this netting. It sags. As soon as you put something heavy in it, it sags, and it looks terrible, and they really don't hold much. So I got these off Amazon. They're pretty nice. They've got a little bit of molded paneling, so they're a little bit versatile. Throw some stuff in this pouch and then attach some other pouches or whatnot to there. I will say I wouldn't necessarily recommend them, and it's for this reason. They are Velcroed on. But as you probably know, this is kind of a rough material here, and the adhesive for the Velcro does not like to stick. So I ended up putting some good double-sided foam tape in there, but it's still not wanting to stay. So I'm debating on finding a more permanent way to mount those. We'll see. I'm not sure if I want to start punching holes into my door panel. So we'll see. In here, first off, I've got my light controls. I've got my radio control here. I've got just a basic Midland GMRS radio. Works pretty well. The antenna's mounted back on the jerry can. I've got my inReach mounted here, just Velcro. I love using Velcro for stuff. Phone mount. I believe the brand is Scotch. You just put a metal plate on the back of your phone or whatever you're gonna mount to it. Sticks right there. The phone stays on there pretty well, especially if you're aired down. If you're not aired down and you're going down a rough trail, it's gonna shake off of there. Also, every now and then, you need to take a wet rag or a little spit or something and clean off the dust, because what will happen is this will start sliding. I've also got the microphone for my radio on one of those, nice and easy. And then here I've got my iPad. I run Guy off this. I also run the diagnostics for my Jeep off of it. It is sitting on a tack form phone mount. I've had this on for the last few trips, and I'm actually very happy with it. It's pretty solid. It shakes a little bit going down the trail, but it's kind of expected. And all I did for that was I screwed it into the side of the dash there. So that's worked out pretty good so far. So moving on to the back seat here. As I said, I did the 60% rear delete just to get some more space. You know, we didn't have enough people riding with us to justify keeping that back seat in. So I've got a platform down here that the cooler sits on. My Ozark Trails cooler has actually worked out pretty good. I'd say it's cheap, but it wasn't that cheap, about $150. I'm thinking about doing a good, the bad, and the ugly of Walmart gear, because I started out with about $200 worth of Walmart gear last year, and you know, it got me started, but a lot of that stuff went in the trash. Some of it is actually pretty good. I've got my tool bag here, recovery bag here, and what I do is I just toss all of our bedding on. Take this tarp, hook it up like that, and I don't know, I think it's a pretty clean look. Tarps keep everything dry, keep everything clean, and I'm overall happy with that. I'm sure there's a lot of things I'm missing on here. If you have any questions, definitely comment below, and appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.